I just found this inscribed on this chair. Love is a promise. I don't quite know what that means, but I like it, so I'm going to sit here and talk to you. I'm in one of my favourite spots in Glastonbury where I live, which is the graveyard, and it has got a wonderful view and lots of trees, and it's quiet. And I've come out to make this video because it's been a while since I've done a video in the series which I ended up calling The Man Behind the Image, or The Man Behind the Mask sometimes, which came from my desire to reach out behind that professional, here I am talking about ideas, or even worse in spirituality, all that fake authority that people claim, and the PR on the back of the books, all of that, which is inevitable and it plays a role. But wanting to cut through all of that and just go, hello, I'm Tim, and I'm experiencing this incredible mystery of being alive like you, and I'm aware that I'm going to die, especially right now because I'm surrounded by tombstones, and the sun is beautiful, and the trees are wonderful, and life is bitter as well, and sweet, and struggle, and amazing, and miraculous, and this is where it is for me right now. So that's my intention, to say a little bit about that for those that are interested, so that you don't just get my work, you get something of me. But the first thing I want to do is go, numbers of people have been asking why I haven't announced any retreats. Normally I do, apart from during COVID. For decades I've done many, many retreats every year, and this year none. And that's because I've needed to shift my attention completely to the philosophical. Now, the experiential is hugely important to me, massively, and sharing these retreats with people is one of the most sweet things I do. And I do them now with Debbie, my wife, so it's even sweeter. We do them in our home, so it's sweeter still. And the place that people go to, and we go there with them, is just sublime. But it takes a lot of energy and time and all of that before and after and during. And there's something I'm working on that's demanded my complete attention. And I'll talk about that. But first, we have decided, as it happens, to do a retreat this year. It may just be this one. And it's in September 13th to the 15th. It's in our home. It's in Glastonbury. I hope it's going to be as magical. I hope it's going to be more magical than all the rest. And we've called it something different. We've called it Why Your Life Really Matters, a Deep Awake Experience. And that's the name I'm giving to this project I've been working on. And I've been working on it now for 8 years. Just flat out. And I'm hoping it's going to come to fruition this year. I mean, it's a hell of a journey. If you told me, I've just turned 65, actually. If you told me when I was younger that, I had this image in my mind that my work would build, there'd be something of value, hopefully, for people and beyond my death, and, who knows. What's actually happened is, over the last period, probably of 10 years, but then intensely this 8 years, everything has just accelerated. And I've seen where I've been wrong about things. I've reevaluated my life as becoming an old man and just thinking, whoa, okay, there, I was really naive there, or there was a lack of wisdom, a lot of that. A lot of that around around everything. Just seeing myself in a very different light, not always particularly complimentary, actually, but there we are. It's been good. But my understanding of what this is has expanded exponentially with a clarity I didn't dream of. And so whilst the experiential states, what I call the deep awake states, the waking up to the more than, is still the center of my life, my understanding that backs it up has gone through the roof, and I've been sharing it quietly with a little group of people who are members of my online community. We meet up every Sunday, and they're very patient because I can say, look, this is the idea that I've got to at the moment. It's not clear enough yet, and I ramble for a bit, and then the next time I try, it's better. And my aim is to get it better and better and better. And what I've got now is a massive project, by far the biggest and most significant thing I've ever worked on. And I'm going to call it Why Your Life Really Matters, because it's a philosophy project. It's about ideas, about what this is, how we should live. But the centerpiece of it is why your life is significant, and wanting to counteract what are the misanthropic philosophies I see associated with science, where it's like, yeah, no, look, it's nothing, you're just atoms playing out laws and all of that, which I think is just mistaken. I don't think it's actually very good thinking. Or equivalence with spirituality, where you don't really exist, or it's all meaningless, or this is an illusion, you got to get out of it, all of that. Well, I'm not going to go into all that now, because that is the book, but it's going to be big for me. I'm going to make it as clear and as concise as I can make it, and I'm going to do it as audio. I've written 35 books, and it's too many. Well, not too, it's just like books are so slow. You have to work with publishers, which is a mixed blessing. And we live in a different age now, so I'm going to do it as an audio, what I'm calling a pod book, which is a kind of love child of a podcast and a book. So the clarity, the organization of a book, and the spontaneity of a podcast, that I'm just going to say it. So I've got all these notes, but it's not written, it's just notes. And then each chapter or episode will explore a particular central idea. And I'll try and get it across within the first 10 or 12 chapters, really, what the whole vision is. And then there's about another, 40 after that. It's going to be a lot. More than that, probably. Yeah. So the whole thing in time will be 30, 40 hours, perhaps. I don't know. So it's a big journey, but I'm hoping people will come at least on the initial bit to see what it is. And it's coming to fruition. It is. It's been. I'll be saying that every year. It's going to be this year. It's going to be this year. And then what happens is I find problems with it, and then I find that the seeking the solution to the problem makes everything better and clearer, and it's blown me away. I'm just so surprised at what's happened for me, and I've fallen in love with it. It seems beautiful and significant, and so I want to share it. Well, I'm here to share it because I'm 65. So that's the thing which is going on for me. The thing which is going on for me is, geez, this has been 8 years. I'm 65. I need to get this out. I wish this was happening in my 40s, because then I feel like I've got plenty of time to articulate it clearly and see what people make of it. Whereas now it feels I haven't got plenty of time. I need to say it, but I need to say it well, and I need to get it right this time, in terms of not laying down confusion for the future. That's my hope. And to share the beautiful vision and see whether other people find it beautiful and coherent and comprehensive, able to deal with the multifarious nature of reality, both in the physical and biological and spiritual psyche, soul. And you'll have, if you follow my work at all, you'll see little bits dropping out in my interviews and in little clips, but it's coming soon. And it's up and down though. It's like I have moments where it's flowing and it's just the best thing, and then others where it feels like, wow, maybe I should just retire. It's hard work. It's hours and hours sitting alone in an office or walking and thinking. I spend an awful lot of time imagining talking to myself, trying to work out how best to say things and what holds together. It's a funny life. I feel so lucky though. I can't tell you that I've arrived at this position where I can do it. I can do it, and my family's still all right, living okay, and I can put my attention and resources into this. So, if you want to know when this comes out, make sure you're subscribed on my YouTube channel or to my podcast or to, better still, on my mailing list, emailing list on my website, timfreke.com, which is also where you can find out about the retreat, by the way, timfreke.com. And then in the background, there's all that stuff of life. It's like, my lovely wife, Deborah, had a very short but, cancer scare, just a couple of weeks ago. And it's fine. She's okay. It's all good. But those moments, I'm sure where everything just goes, whoa, something so much more important than everything else. And those moments where the whole mystery of life and death comes into sharp relief, and the joy and the suffering is both obvious. And I think that's what pushes me to try and understand this. How can it be like this? And how, in particular, there can be these experiences, which is what I share at the retreats, of more than. It's when people talk about spiritual experiences, I don't know what other people mean, but what I mean are those moments which make a big impression, where you go, there's more going on with this than just our socio-biological existence. Now that's, the biology alone is amazing. Our social existence and all of that, massively, oh wow, And then there's more. The life is significant for more than that. And I've been having those experiences since I was very young. I've pushed them. I've doubted them. I've looked at different ways to understand them. And they still feel like incredibly significant, which is why I attempt to share them with other people so they can experience them, or if they have experienced them, they can re-experience them. And it's like, how can this existence be everything from the banality of I drop something, it falls, to the wonder that I'm alive and a biological being, experiencing this, seeing, I'm conscious, what's that? I have a psyche or a soul, where there's a whole imaginal realm where I can imagine and create worlds and have a whole load of esoteric spiritual experiences, shamanic experiences. And then there's death. It's just like there's the way out, where you're heading for. What's that? And having been around death a lot, I love the line in Walt Whitman, who has that lovely quality of taking in all the joy and suffering and just going, yeah, to it. And there's a line in one of his poems where he just goes, to die is different to what one supposes, and luckier. It's just such a great last line, isn't it? Because whoa, you don't think of death as lucky, but he did. That's Walt for you. So I think where I'm at today is how good it is to be alive, despite all of the struggle and, some days feeling this, some days feeling that, some days having tons of energy, and as I get older, many days not being able to work like I used to. I used to work through the night regularly. I can't do that now. And yet somehow, with all that loss, all the whiteness in my beard, all the wrinkles, it feels like I've gained more wisdom than I anticipated. Now, of course, I may be delusional. Others must judge that. I do my best to spot it. But I think what we're in, this being alive, this constant process of evolution and change, and yet not just change, also genuine emergence of things which are not just novel but better, more than. I think it's deeply significant. And our individuality, that you are you and I am me, is significant. And that's what I'm working on sharing. I just hope I'm up to it. But I can promise you I'll do my best. I know that. Love is a promise. Oh, and as if by magic I come back to where I started, which wasn't intended. But there you go.